So here we are at example 4, and this one looks like a doozy. I know you see fractions and go, ugh, fractions, but it's okay, because so do I. So our strategy here is we're going to make these fractions go away. The thing that makes a fraction is the fact that there's a denominator. No denominators, no fractions. So if you look just at the denominators for me, that's the bottoms. Do you see the 3 and the 24? What would be a good common denominator you could use for those? Remember, you can take a little number and multiply it to make it a bigger number. So 24 would be a nice number we could use here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to utilize the fairness principle of solving equations. If I have an equation, which I do, I have an equal sign, I can choose to do something on both sides of the equation, as long as I'm fair to everybody. Now on the left side of this equation, do you see that we have like two chunks of information, those two big ugly fractions? We're going to have to treat them both fairly when we do this. So I choose 24. I'm going to multiply everything by 24 here, because that is my common denominator. So I'm going to do this in purple. So I'm going to multiply it by 24 here. I'm going to multiply it by 24 here. And I'm going to multiply it by 24 here. It's like having 3 kids in the family. You got to give them all the same amount of candy or they get mad. So what I'm going to do is treat this one chunk at a time. So first, I'm just going to look at this chunk here in red. So I'm going to put that 24 over 1 so that the canceling is a little bit more obvious. So I'm thinking about dividing the 24 by the 3. Well, what is 24 divided by 3? That's 8. So that 8 is going to need multiplied by my numerator here. So distributive property is going to kick in. 8 times 3x is 24x. And that was that. 8 times 8 is 64. So there's the part that comes from what I have in red. No more fraction. That's good. Let's move on to this next chunk. I'll outline it in blue. The 24, see how there's a 24 in purple on the top and a 24 original on the bottom? They're going to cancel. They're gone. So what I have left is a plus 3x plus 5. So that looks better, no more fraction there. And then on the right side, I never did have a fraction over here. So I just have to multiply negative 5 times 24, which would be negative 120. Okay, now if you look at that line, I know it's still a little messy, but there are no more fractions, and that in my book is a win. So, let's see, what could we simplify here? Well, I see some x's we could put together. Now, what I want you to note is, do you see how those x's are on the same side of the equation? That means we can just combine them. We can just put those like terms together. It's just sorting and organizing the stuff that's already on the left side. So that means over there I have 27 x's. Same idea with the 5 and the 64. I can just combine those and get 69. So there's that. Bring down my equals and bring down my negative 120. And that equation looks easy to solve. I know you guys will be fine from there, so I'm just going to stop the video there.